looking for something. A new way, a new understanding, a connection, some comfort. You've got questions, and Light on Living puts the spotlight on all the answers so you can shine. Lift and lighten the load of life's challenges and learn simple and easy ways to live a healthy, happy life. You'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you. You're invited to hear new, see different, and feel more as Lisa shines the light on living.
Welcome, everyone, to Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry, giving you reasons to feel good. I just love that, feeling good, feeling good. And what a great way to feel good when you decide to win. Now, what does that mean? What am I talking about, win? Like, are we playing games in life here? What's going on? Well, you know what? I wanted to do this topic so badly, and my guest will tell you just how badly when he comes on here. But when we decide to win, it's that we are choosing not to lose. We've been given such an incredible opportunity to have an amazing life. And when we decide to take that on, to embrace it and to have it through any obstacle, like any obstacles. And our guest will tell you that there are some, he knows there's big obstacles, there's heavy obstacles out there. But when you do decide to win through any of them, that's what this is all about. So I want to introduce you to my guest today. I'm very, very excited. His name is Clinton Harris, and you're just going to be blown away by everything he pretty much shares here. But he's got great energy, a great decision to win in life. He is the CEO. He's a personal development expert, and he really is. He's a life progression coach. He's a keynote speaker. I know you guys are going to want to have him on your stage talking to you and in your living room face to face, and newly best-selling author. So welcome, Clinton Harris. Hello.
Hey, Lisa. How you doing today?
I'm just so happy that you're here today.
Yes, you are. You're very persuasive, to say the least. So,
yes.
Yeah, this is going to be a great show.
It is. And, I was, what, folks, I want to tell everybody listening right now is I was persistent. This is a busy man. He was very tricky to get on the show. Everybody wants to hear from him, and he's doing big changes in his life. And that's one of his things, actually. He decides to do something in life, and they're big. They're always big things. But your energy is so big, and I just needed to have you on for my listeners because I feel that right now, this is when people need to hear big, loud, clear, positive voices, and that's what I want you here. Okay?
That's a beautiful thing. Well, to all of your listeners out there, they have to know how persuasive you are and how amazing you are. I mean, because I literally was not doing this show this week. Lisa yelled at the universe, and then the universe came and yelled at me, apparently. Well, now I'm here. I mean, we hashed this out literally yesterday and this morning, and here we are. So she's amazing.
It is. And, a lot of the times, this is a great example to kick off with because a lot goes on in our lives, especially in the middle of transition, not deciding to make a different change, but you're in the middle of picking up and moving your entire life and recreating things and launching things. And, we do have to be discerning. We have to choose what is going to best serve us and how can we best serve others. And this is one thing I wanted to talk about and bring this up right away is when I learned about you and I read your story, and you have so many stories to share, I keep thinking of the word mentor. Like, I really feel like do you think of yourself as a mentor?
Actually, I never looked at it, until literally last year, right around the November time frame, as being a mentor. I just looked at it as being me and trying to be, show up as my best self every day I woke up. I didn't see it as, I'm going to be this role model or this person that people are going to look up to or look towards or seek advice from, even though I had been given advice, being a motivational speaker or a life coach or even a high-performance consultant before. I just looked at it as, me giving my best self to everyone I was involved in. And if they chose to take that advice, hopefully it would shed a better light on their situation or lead them toward a better light or a better situation in the future.
I love that you said that, giving my best self. Here's the big question. If you could, and I know that, you have to share the story to everybody over and over, but I'm so glad that you do. If you would just share with our listeners the foundation of what happened, what was your beginning of life so challenging and difficult, and who was your mentor to get out of that situation? Give a little backstory.
Well, A little backstory, originally from Chicago, Illinois. I grew up in, a fairly decent, upper middle class area until the city started to change. But before that, I didn't have that family foundation, actually. One of my relatives, a female relative, was very forthright in her sexual abuse of me from ages 4 to 5. She ran away when I was 5. My brother ran away when I was 6, and my mother left when I was 7. Didn't see much of them, beyond that point. And I was, left at home with a male figure in my household, supposed to be the mentor of the household, but it really wasn't what it was supposed to be. We made it look good, but all things aren't just because they glitter, they're not gold all the time. Mm-hmm. And, it was a lot of abuse in that situation, especially verbally, some physically and things of that nature. And, that's the way I grew up. But I always decided, based on my circumstances, just because I am in that circumstance doesn't mean I had to be of that circumstance, and I would be different. So, I took on the burden of, being that person that had to clean an entire 6-bedroom house, 3 stories tall by hand, with a scrub brush, or, clean the dishes, or if I forget a fork, the dirty dishwater will be thrown on me at night, or if I forget to take out the garbage, it will be literally thrown on me while I'm in bed sleeping, or my door will be kicked in. Guns will be held, to my head or in my mouth by that same, male figure in my household, just because, I wasn't a bad kid. I excelled in school or whatnot, but, I just wasn't living up to whatever that male figure thought I should be, apparently. And he just took it out on me at will. And other times he was just an amazing person to be around. But for the most part, it was, a lot of torment, leaving me outside or locking me in the basement with one can of food, over the weekend in the dark whenever he felt the need to do it. So by age 17, life started to, go downhill. I was surrounded by gang violence and drugs and, prostitution in my area, but I still found a way to avoid it all. I didn't want to be a part of it. Never, got in trouble, never got arrested, and still excelled in school somehow and found a way. But as for a mentor, I really can't say that I had one. I just found, that positive motivation myself, because maybe the negativity around me is what was my catalyst for being a positive person. I saw it and I didn't want to be that way. So that turned out to be enough. When I turned age 17, I decided, hey, I can't go get my high school diploma because I did not have a legal guardian at the time. So there you go. I decided, my GED is the way to go. I went to school, signed up for it, and got kicked out of class the first day. It wasn't a bad thing. This was the instructor told me flat out, get out of the classroom. I didn't understand. And as soon as I got up and I was vexed, I walked out and he followed me out of the classroom. And he said, son, do you know why I told you to get out? And I said, no, sir, I really don't. He says, because I've never had one human being answer every single question in vivid detail like you have in this type of classroom. You don't belong here. Go take the test, go get your GED, and don't look back. Keep moving. Oh. I went and took the test that following week, passed it with flying colors, and I really haven't looked back. I moved on and continued to excel, got an associate's. I got my bachelor's. I got my MBA. I joined the military. I did, quite a bit since then because I knew I did not want to look back, like you said. And I wasn't just looking back on that classroom. That was not looking back on where I came from in a sense of not wanting to be that way.
Right. Getting stuck in that story. I want to highlight what you said there about you realized that you were in circumstances, but not of circumstances. And what you shared there. So first of all, thank you for sharing that. Because those are tough situations to even, somebody, when they hear them, it's their first time and, they go, oh, and they're feeling it and stuff. I had a really big question about I always feel bad when I have to ask people to share that their story. And how does one share? Because, okay, question: did you find that do you get any healing as you tell the story, or is it because you tell the story that you experience some healing of that, or did you have to heal first before you were able to share the story?
I don't know. I think I'm, broken from a slightly different mold in the sense that when I share my story, I look at it from a different perspective to begin with. As a child growing up and through my teenage years, people say, how can you live through that? How can you handle that? Why? Well, how can you be positive? Well, my first answer is why not? Because if you're embroiled in a situation, that's considered your situation. I don't see it as, hey, this is a negative or a positive. I see it as my situation that I need to work toward getting out of. That's it. So for instance, there's a story about a frog. If you put a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump straight out of it. But if you leave a frog in lukewarm water and you turn up the heat, the frog will sit there and slowly boil to death because it's surrounded by its surroundings and it doesn't notice the change in temperature. So if you grow up in that, that's simply what you're used to. That's simply your situation. Now, had I come from a different environment, I was dropped into that situation. Oh, no, that would have been terrible. I probably couldn't have made it out of it.
Yeah.
But being the fact that was what I acclimated to, slowly through my years, and it was all I knew, it didn't seem as bad, I suppose. So it just, all I knew was, hey, I don't like this. I need to go ahead and make a change. I was kept away from my relatives. I mean, to this day, if I walk past most of my relatives, I would not know them if they're related to me on the street right now. I don't know their names. I don't know their phone numbers. I just don't know them. So I was my way out. When you ask for a mentor, that's the reason why. In my neighborhood, there weren't many people walking around looking for positive change when, everyone's, shooting at each other and, fighting and drugs are everywhere or whatnot. I mean, literally, I've been shot at maybe 220 times in Chicago as opposed to when I was deployed in the military. So that was just my life,
Right. I love what you said about when the teacher came after you, he said, leave this class. And you're like, oh, my gosh. And he comes out and he says, do you know why? I think that was such a key moment because he was offering you the opportunity to understand. I think a lot of times that when we don't understand, right now, do you feel you didn't understand why the man who was your father figure did what he did, and at times you really enjoyed being around him, and you felt that he had some, good qualities and stuff, but do you ever seek to understand? Do you want to understand, or do you just focus on you?
Oh, no, I focus on everyone else. One thing about me is, my friends and the people that have grown to know me as even colleagues know that I don't hold grudges, and they can't understand. They're like, this person has done some horrible things to you. How can you forgive them? How can you even allow them in your company or, not harbor hate for them? Well, first off, harboring hate means I didn't let go. And if I never let go, that means they still have that power over me, and that's not going to happen. I'm in control of my own future, my own destiny, and what direction I choose to go in life. And I choose to be a joyful, happy, positive person on a daily basis because that's truly a choice. Now, when it comes to him, I can't say I've completely forgiven him in a sense that of what he's done, but I've forgiven him for why he is the way he is because I can't change him. So he's going to be that way, and that's the way I've known him for life, and that's the way other people even view him. So that is him. Have I made attempts to go ahead and, inspire positive change inside him? Absolutely. Have they worked? Absolutely not. He is molded the way he is, and no one will change him, and he said that outright. So, hey, either accept these, individuals the way they are if they decide not to change, or don't. And in this case, I've accepted him for the way he is. That doesn't mean I need to be around him. I can accept him from a distance. So that's the way I've chosen to handle it.
I love that because it offers so much freedom. And there's the two words that kind of, go there is like you said, I'm not going to let somebody have that much power over me. I'm in control. This is my power. And do you think that's where freedom comes from? Is that when you finally realize it's yourself that's in control?
Yes. And that's where, we have some shortfalls. A lot of people don't realize whatever situation they're in, doesn't matter who's in control or they feel is in control. The truth is you're in control. You just don't realize it a lot of times, If it's a bad situation or a bad relationship or, just even a bad business deal, you're still in control. You have a choice. It may not be the best choice, but regardless of the situation, no matter what you're in, you have a choice. If you're in a bad relationship, you can choose to stay in it and work on it and fix it. And even if it doesn't work, you still have the choice to stay, or you have the choice to leave. No matter what situation, there is a choice. The question is, what choice are you going to make?
And do you believe, I love that, it's so powerful, and I'm just wondering, because you were a child when all this happened, do you think that that power of choice still exists even for a 5-year-old?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I, was a very intuitive child. I knew when something was brewing with that male figure. I knew when he was getting ready to explode or just, come for no reason.
Yes.
So I made the choice to do things to appease him, to pretty much please his palate, so to calm him down or lessen the blow or just mitigate it altogether. There's a choice to create actions within yourself that create reactions in other people. And, no matter what, even if that person is, just one of those people, you just grit your teeth and like, I just can't.
Right.
You can, but it's a choice that you have to make.
I love how you put everyone right now in the power seat, because you're right. You're not saying, we all have the power and the choice to be able to let's say you're 5, you can't just leave. That's all we can, I guess. But you're saying we also have the power to make choices to create a best situation for ourselves. And we have to sneak away to commercials now, but I want everybody to really come back, because when we get to talk to you, we're really learning how we can have victory in our lives and our power. So everybody come on back with Clinton Harris.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization. Their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millisers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Imagine tapping into a power where you could access the ability to transform your views of money, success, happiness, and fulfillment. A power that you could unlock hidden talents, uncover new meaning, and amplify the significance of your purpose. Well, the feminine heart is the source of that power, intelligence, insight, and understanding. Join this new wave of women's leadership that's emerging. Be the woman who knows her greatest power to create goes well beyond the day-to-day striving for results. Be the woman who knows her true power to contribute to the world in significant ways is one that expresses her heart, enlivens her creativity, and elevates her spirit. Rise, amazing woman, rise. An Amazing Woman Legacy book compiled by Marsh Engel, sharing the 8 essential powers of the feminine from 8 influential mentors, entrepreneurs, and change makers that will help you tap into that power. Rise, amazing woman, rise. Your legacy begins by leading with a feminine heart.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to Light on Living. I'm your host, Lisa Berry, and I've got author Clinton Harris, who's more than an author, but I'm focusing on his we've got a couple books, but just one book right now, Obstacles Equal Opportunity. He's got an incredible chapter in there. You definitely want to read it. And Clinton, I'm going to share just one of my favorite little paragraphs from your chapter because there's a question I have about it for you. All right?
All right.
All right. So in this chapter, we hear Clinton Harris write, "My main objective in telling my story is to impress upon you that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what you have. What matters is what you want, what you strive for, and what actions you take to achieve your goals. We all have a mind, but we must choose to keep it focused on the positive because unless we train it to stay focused on yes, I can, we run the risk of getting stuck in no, I can't." And I love that so much, Clinton. And my question is when we're trying to focus our mind, because you are, you're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a coach, you get up there. Two-part question. Did you use visualization even as a young child as one of your techniques? And do you teach that even now?
Actually, the answer is a yes. I didn't realize it was visualization. I thought it was imagination back then, but yes. What I did was, I would immerse myself in travel books, and I would order anything all over the world. I literally had my room and neatly stacked with maybe 400 or 500 travel books at a time, and I had read every word in every single one of them, throughout my youth. And I was ordering these books well before the age you're supposed to. But I would place myself there to get out of my, reality. I would imagine myself there, what I would be doing with my life, who I would be with, the type of life that I wanted to have. And then I started to think, if that's what I want to really do, these are my dreams. What does it take to get there? And these thoughts started as early as 7 years old. I say I was above my age in regards to that because I was already washing my own clothes, cooking my own food, checking my own homework after I did it, completely looking after myself sometimes in the household for 2 and 3 weeks at a time when that male figure wasn't there, from 7 up. I had to be that person. So I had to figure out a way to live that positive life. He put me out when I was 7 again, and still found a way to get up and go to school when I was young. These are not, high school years. These are, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. This is the life I've had. I've slept behind stores and broken down cars when I had to and woke up and went to the bathroom at school and cleaned myself up and walked into class like nothing happened and kept it all pretty much quiet. I didn't want people to know because I definitely didn't want to end up in a foster system. So I was, that much aware that I would rather live in the torment that I had at home there than go to some form of unknown torment. So I made the best out of the situation that was given to me.
That you are, when you said earlier about being intuitive, yes, that was you had that intuitive for your own personal safety. Like, how can I keep myself safe to this? I also think this is a great example for people, and I hope I'm not stepping over any lines for everybody out there, but I'm just going to say this. I find now that we are giving our children less and less responsibility and less opportunity to figure out what they can do. And we're almost taking it away from them and saying, well, they don't, we're not having them be a part of what it takes to take care of ourselves. Do you find that?
I do find that. I find that we're putting up so many safety nets that they're not capable of their own safety once those nets come down. So they're more vulnerable to many, of the elements of danger that are out there in the world. And I don't mean, necessarily physical danger.
Yeah.
I just mean all of the hawks that are, circling above, the vultures that are waiting for that opportunity. They're less aware because the safety nets have been, just covering them for life. And now as soon as they start to slowly come down, either the child doesn't know how to react or the child doesn't know how to act.
Yes. Exactly. A funny story, Clinton, about this is I just recently moved, and it's more in the country, and I have these little kitty cats that go outside, and I thought at first, oh my gosh, how how will I tell them, like I'm a human being, how will I tell the cats to make sure they're aware? But guess what? There's this dog next door who she comes out and barks and chases. And at first I was really upset that she would do this to my cats. But then I thought, no, this is good because she helped train them so that when they look out the door for her as opposed to, and they're already on guard. Like they already have they've run around the house a few times and they know where they can get in and out now.
Absolutely.
That is so helpful to know. Here's something you wrote. I just love this. Oh, I love this so much. No one is destined to fail, nor is anyone destined to succeed. Can you share with that? I love that. I love that you wrote that.
Yes. When I sat and wrote that, I'll be completely honest. I wrote that chapter in about an hour and a half.
Wow.
The chapter flowed out of me as did one of my following books. But that chapter specifically, flowed out of me. When that came to, I had that realization. I simply focused on the fact that I was looking at people around me. I was looking at the people that have been successful, as, in regards to how we gauge success these days, even though that's all about perception, but how we gauge success, life, money, happiness, joy. It's a combination. That's how I look at success. But all of it, no matter how we gauge it, it's still a choice. That successful person had to get up and decide that I want something out of life. Now, what that is neither here nor there for us. But they had to make a choice whether they want to pursue it or not pursue it. And that's what it's about. We don't just wake up with that silver spoon in our mouth. Some people, wake up with money, but money doesn't, always translate to success. Mm-hmm. So they had to make a choice at some point in their life whether they wanted something positive out of the life given to them and the time given to them and granted to them on earth or not. And they made that positive choice. Now, some people, on the other hand, they want to party when they're, younger and just hang out. And those are usually the people that end up, needing to do what they had to do early. So they made the choice, not necessarily to fail, because I don't label it that, but to be less successful in their life. And so that's the reason I wrote that. It really just, it spoke to me and stuck out to me because everything we do is about a choice.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're really sharing that with us, and that we have that power of choice. When you say the word, I love that you brought that up about some people, maybe they are born in a much better and more easy flowing situation, whether it be money or education or just a loving family. But success, it does mean a lot of different things. When I was reading your chapter, the word victory kept coming up for me, and I thought, gosh, that's an interesting word. Why is that coming up around Clinton Harris here? And I guess when I say that word to you, victory, to experience victory in your life, what does that mean?
Well, that really resonates with me because no matter what my situation is, I don't accept failure. Right now, like you said, I'm in a transition. I'm transforming my business. I'm transforming where I live. I'm transforming how I live. I'm transforming, what I eat, my healthy lifestyle. I've been in that.
Yay!
But I'm trying to take it to the next, right. I'm trying to lift it to the next level, and I'm going to do more than try. I'm going to succeed because that is what I've chosen to do. When it comes to victory, I look at all of the things that I've done in my past. Every little thing, it doesn't have to be a major victory. I've, overtaken this giant corporation, or I have $1 million, or, I'm the happiest man on earth based on a relationship. It can be little small victories. Every victory counts. They pile up, and those little tiny pebbles equate to a mountain after a while. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, those small victories built me and molded me into who I am. Getting out of that situation at home with that male figure, overcoming, my past thoughts of what that female figure did in my household, earning my GED because I didn't have a right to earn a high school diploma, even though I was an honor student, going to college, being, seeing that diploma, even though I had no one there cheering for me when I walked across stage because I didn't have anyone. It's still a small victory that built and built and built a foundation to who I became now. Now, I don't profess to have every answer for everyone out there or every client that comes to me asking for help. But what I profess to do is give solid advice based on a solid foundation of what I know works and what I know is right, And those can be small victories for that individual as well, that builds those little tiny pebbles into that mountain.
I love that I would like to highlight that one story there, because you made me think of other people's rules. And yes, they exist in certain structures and things, and we don't always have to like them, and they don't even make sense. Like, if you could just highlight that again. So you were an honor roll student in school, but yet you were blocked from graduating, like writing the test, because you didn't have a guardian. Did I get the details?
Well, yes. So let's go ahead and rewind the 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
I graduated with honors, in, grade school. That's what we called it back then.
Okay.
I was one of the top students in the school, went to state science fair twice for physics early on, on my own. I didn't have the support of home. I mean, they gave me the initiative to keep pushing. Okay. Then, when I got to high school, I got accepted as a magnet student at a magnet high school. But when I got there, I kept going to class as much as I could, but they kept hounding me. Where's your signature? How we can't accept you when you need your shots. You need to go ahead and be signed into school. And it turns out my mother never placed my father on my birth certificate, because I don't know if he was my father at that point. Legally, at least, he was not. So he could not sign me into school, nor did he even make the attempt. And my mother was nowhere to be found. I didn't know where she was for sporadically for years at a time, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 4 years. I didn't know where she was. I didn't hear from her based on the fact that they could not get along. There was a lot of physical abuse in that, so she stayed away. So I was taken out of class at one point and kept in auditorium. And, they would work toward, work toward what they could do to get me into class, and they just didn't work out. And eventually they said, this isn't going to work. We're going to, have to go ahead and ask you not to come back until you can find it or have a legal guardian get this sorted out. So that didn't get sorted out, I went to, high school about a year early. I went in between 13 and 14, and I didn't get my GED to 17. So I literally spent getting more and more, down and depressed on myself. I started to believe, hey, you're not good enough. This is, you're a loser. Look at all the people around you still going to school and excelling and doing better and getting ready to graduate. And look at me at home without a job because I'm, too young at that time frame and doing what? Nothing. So by 17, I just woke up one day. I had an epiphany to get off of my keister and go get a GED. I talked to my, my male figure about it. He didn't budge, didn't care, didn't seem to have any desire to push me ahead. So I got up and got on a bus myself, and that's it. I used to walk through the neighborhoods that I knew I would probably get shot at just to get there and get home when he wouldn't provide bus fare or things of that nature. But, I want to get it done. That's it. I just wanted to get it done.
With that right there, that is so powerful for everybody to understand. And I'm so happy that you did share, not that you went through it, but that, you can have all of that positive attitude and belief and desire. And then sometimes just, the around you, and you just keep hitting these walls and you think, gosh, like nobody's supporting me here. I'm literally going to do this by myself. And I was going to ask you, like, a lot of people can fall into that trap where they have beliefs that work against them, that they think nobody is here, the whole world is against me, I suck, I'm failing. And if you were to talk to that person, right now, this is why I think of you as a mentor, is how do you keep your eye on, like, how do you get into that space where you literally stand there and say, the whole world could maybe be against me or just don't care, but I am going to continue this. I am worth it. Like, how do you get there?
That's in my case, I would say this to that individual. If anyone's listening out there that feels they fall into that caveat, dream it. But don't just dream it. Do it. And when I say do it, I want you to dream it first. And when you have that vivid detail, you have the smells, the sense of the action, the feel of how you're going to feel when you experience it after you've achieved it and work toward it. Then I want you to visualize working yourself backwards, all the way back to your current situation, and figure out each step is going to take to get there, what you need to do. And even if you can't visualize every single step right then because you really just don't know what to do, find what leads you back to where you are now and take the first step. drop that one pebble, get that one victory. And once you get that one victory, that path and that clarity starts to become more and more present. Even if it's slowly, it still may be a little bit cloudy, but you have to have the courage to take that step, even if you can't see the next step ahead of you. Take the step and start moving forward. If you need help with that, reach out to a life coach. Reach out to a mentor. I'm not saying myself. I mean anyone that you find in your life that you think has positive change or a positive influence upon you. And if you don't know one, take the time to look for one. They're there. Just sometimes our circumstances blind us because we're so consumed in what we're going through that we fail to realize that there is a way out and there's a clear path if we take the time to search for it.
Thank you for that. We're going to have some really fun visualization techniques and some things to help you no matter what situation. And the best thing, I like this one, no matter what age. That's the magical thing about you, Clinton, is that it's for any age. So everybody come back. We can help anyone.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me, connected to us. The Connection app, the perfect way to get to know your partner, yourself, and love more deeply. Download and join today. Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Welcome back, you guys. We're here with Clinton Harris. He is a CEO, personal development expert, life progression coach, keynote speaker, and best-selling author. And I'm so happy to have you here on Light on Living. And as we're going through, you speak to everyone. You speak to at every age, at every stage, at every. Oh, funny that I say stage, actually, because you are on the stage. But this is her stage, right? Like our life that we have. This is our stage where we get to either shine from and just do our thing. And with you having come from such, just such a determination to shine for yourself. I have a question, personal question on how does Clinton get through this? Do you have a practice that you do every day to keep yourself positive? Like, do you do meditation, yoga? You said you're cleaning up your diet, or do you have a healthy diet? What is it for you? Go walking in nature?
Well, yeah, actually, what I do every morning is what I've actually have in my coaching program. I have a morning positivity course that I follow each morning. I won't go into many details about it, but it is definitely on my website or whatnot. But a few steps in it is just waking up with that mindset, creating that mindset of positivity and carrying it with you, not just in the morning. The key is having that mindset and focusing that mindset so it is a part of you every single day, and it becomes second nature. It's not something you have to actively think about doing, being positive. Oh, God, this person made me mad. Let me be positive. No. You'll get to the point where it becomes second nature and you're positive naturally. You have those positive reactions to situations that most people would, not want to be so positive on. But, it'll become second nature for you. Also, diet. A lot of people don't realize that a healthy diet is a part of that. I admit my arms look like I'm carrying two toddlers, and that's the way I'm naturally built. You know what I mean? Two toddlers all the time, but I mean it in a healthy way. And people say you work out all the time. No, I don't. I literally, I focus on eating healthy, being a healthier person, being an active person, because activity helps to build brain activity. And at that point, you can go ahead and focus your brain on what you choose. Once again, and we're back to choices again. And, I want to bring back one tidbit you said, about the stage. Everyone out there listening, you are the star on your own stage of life. Now, you can choose to go out there in the spotlight and you can choose to bomb, or you can choose to go out there and be a superstar every day. That is an absolute choice. But remember, everyone out there, you are the star of your own life on your own stage. The question is, what are you going to do with it every day you wake up?
I love that. And that brings us back to how I wanted to title this whole episode about decide to win. So it's, I decided to win, and now I have to make choices that take me to my win. And I totally did not know we'd end up talking about nutrition, but I'm so excited to share this because as you shared, when we feed ourselves healthy and good things, in our minds, that's how we build. It's funny because when we feed ourselves bad things, it actually breaks down our body. And that's perhaps why you get to carry such a great physique, because you're feeding the positive mindset, the thing. You're not breaking your body down. You're not beating yourself down and breaking all those little parts away. Like, just healthy and strong because of the attitude.
Exactly. Think of it this way. When we have some negativity and we butt it against the positivity, it's going to erode away. The positive is going to erode some of the negativity. The negativity is going to erode some of the positivity. But if we focus it all on positive, we're moving toward the right direction in every aspect of our life. For instance, if we eat healthy, we are active, we hone our mind to positive thought. Where's the negative going to get in? Where is it eroding us at? It's not. All we're doing is building at that point, and that's what this is about. This is your life, and I want everybody to understand this is your life. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to?
Okay. Oh, that's right. I love appreciation so much. Like, it's kind of like my high. That's what every time I get to say thank you to somebody for, like, even the smallest, most ridiculous things, but they seem so big to me. Yeah. I get on a momentum, and sometimes they're going, why would you say thank you for that? All right, that's not even a thing. I'm like, no, it's an awesome thing. And it is those little things, and more keeps showing up when you do even appreciate the smallest of things. Like, sometimes I'm like so grateful. I know this sounds funny. I can't believe I'm going to say this on air, but be grateful that you have a full roll of toilet paper when you go. It's like, I have no idea why I thought of it.
Actually, I think everybody can be grateful for that. Like, yes, let's get it in. Yes. But what that relates to me, that actually relates to me, because that is spreading positivity. Here's one thing that I found. I don't want, personally, this is how I speak and how I live. I don't want to just harbor positivity. I want to exude it. Okay.
Aww.
And you spread that love, and that's what it's about. We as human beings are loving individuals if we allow ourselves to simply love. You know, if you see something nice, you know, hey, nice shoes, or, you know, wow, that's a great outfit. I mean, that's not being, you know, overbearing. That's not being flirtatious, though, because there are a lot of people have problems with that these days, which I understand, you know. But I'm saying, you know, if you see something nice, say something nice. That's going to go ahead and resonate with that person the rest of their day. They could be having, in their opinion, their perception, the worst day imaginable. They could have woke up and, you know, everything could have just gone wrong in their opinion that day. But you could have been that shining light, or can be that shining light. You know, those are great shoes. So that outfit looks amazing. You know, I love that color. You know, they're going to remember that the rest of the day, the rest of the week. It's going to stand out with them. Why not spread just a little bit of love, a little bit of positivity? Because if everybody's spreading that positivity, that becomes just a worldwide net. Everybody can reach everybody, you know, on the same day. And more love, you know, reduces the hate that this world has, you know, start to build up in right now. And we definitely need more love.
And you know what that actually does? I love that you brought that up about just even, you know, sharing something in it. But because when you notice someone, right, you actually have a connection and you let them know that they were seen, they mattered, they stood out a little bit in whatever way, and in a good way. So it's a good hormone feeling, you know, it's a good, I think it's oxytocin. It's something, you know, it does that. Speaking of reaching out and making connections and things, I would love for you to share this part, because you get up on stage, you're a speaker, you really, well, your hope is that you connect with somebody. People have come to see you or hear you or get the opportunity to share in you. How do you get up ahead of time and go, okay, I want to connect with these people, or do you just get out there and connect with yourself? And that is what makes you so connectable?
I like the word connectable. Well, you know, I don't give myself a pep talk. You know, every time I've taken a stage in my life, I've never given myself a pep talk. I don't have the nerves, you know, the stage fright. Reason being, I imagine that room, if I do feel nerves creeping in, I do one thing. The military calls it 1,000-yard stare, and I'll focus on one thing in the back of the room for a moment until I calm down. But that is extremely rare. I haven't had to do that in so many years. Now, I think of everybody in that room as someone that either I already know or somebody that's come to try to connect with me. Yeah. They're in that room for a reason. They're in that room because they felt the desire or need to hear something that I have that I could give them to help them. So why would I fear giving that? I go out there and I connect, and I just simply go out there as myself, be myself, and, you know, I go out there and have a good time while I'm trying to help any individual that will hear the message and it resonates with them. I don't see any other way when I take the stage. I see people that are seeking help, and if I am taking a stage, that means I'm in a position to give it, and that's all I see.
I love that. And that's so true, because a lot of people, you know, they have something to give, they want to give it, and they get nervous, so they stop themselves from doing it. So that's a powerful thing. Is that something that is that part of your coach? Is that the positive course that you do? Is that to be a speaker, or is that just to be positive? Like, what do you coach?
That I coach toward pretty much every aspect of positivity. Confidence is actually one of the foundational pillars in there. Confidence is, you know, something that we need throughout life. I even literally talk to my son. I have a 14-year-old son, and I talk to him about confidence. Not to saying he lacks it. I just want to go ahead and keep building it up so throughout life he doesn't have a shortage of it when it's necessary. But confidence is something that leads us toward the positive, because if we have negativity or, you know, we have fear and doubt, because a lot of people don't realize when we have fear of something, that fear is not running alone. Fear does really have an evil twin called doubt. And doubt has an evil twin called fear, and they run hand in hand. You know, and the only thing they do, the only purpose they have is to erode confidence, because that's what they do when they work together. They erode confidence. So if we go ahead and mitigate that fear or mitigate that doubt or overcome those obstacles, then confidence has nothing that's fighting against it. It actually starts to build on its own. And so that's where I focus on.
It's kind of like you're doing that. I imagined earlier when you said you build up that positive, not a wall, but you make it solid and tight so that, you know, you can't erode with that. But I love that you said that the evil twins are fear and doubt, everyone, and they have one purpose. It's to erode confidence. I'm quoting Clinton Harris here. I like that. And so the goal is to focus on building up the confidence. Can you tell us, because we do have a few minutes, I'm so excited, so somebody isn't really feeling that confident. They're sitting there going, gosh, I don't feel confident. in really any area, or I just don't know where to start, what could be an easy step one that pretty much anybody at any age could do to build their confidence? Just that pebble.
Okay. Well, what is the goal is the first question. I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you want, what you desire, or what your end goal is? Then focus on that fear and ask yourself, don't be afraid of it. Face it head on. Ask yourself why this fear exists to begin with and what the fear is, and then where the fear is rooted. That's the key. We have to find the root of the fear. Because if we find the root of the fear, that's going to answer our question for doubt automatically, because the only reason we have the doubt is because we're fearful of something. And the only reason we have the doubt is because we're fearful of something. So either way, fear is going to be the root cause. So we need to get to the root of that problem. And once we can root that out, that confidence is automatically going to start to slowly boost itself up. And in that case, there's not much more you need to do but keep on facing that fear and making sure that root never grows back. It's like pulling a weed. You have to get to the root of it, or that thing's going to be back in a week with a vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at dandelions.
You pull 1, 15 grow in its place, right?
Yeah, exactly. You set those seeds. Well, actually, that's an interesting thing you just said there, because sometimes that's what, sometimes myself, my personal experience, I'll go, okay, what am I afraid of? And then, when I went to the root of it, there was a whole root system. It wasn't just one thing. I may say, maybe I say I'm afraid of water, but then it's really not afraid of the water. I'm afraid of this and that, and I'm afraid of weeds in the water, And so, but what should we, if a fear is really big and it is a problem in our lives that we're just not confident, should we seek help before we dive into unwrapping our fears? Okay, we're back. Oh my goodness, that was funny. And it's a good thing that it's never a fear of mine that I'll lose against it. I always know I can get you back. But the final question was, if we are unwrapping fears, and they're pretty big, and they're pretty big in our lives, and they're holding us back, should we attempt to do this alone? Do we have enough trust, or should we seek help?
That really depends on the person. It really, really, truly depends on how you feel about it. I know fear is a scary thing, and that's what it means. Yeah. But here's the thing. How much confidence do you have in yourself at the time frame? How much support do you feel you need? How much support are you used to? Sometimes we have to walk that road alone. Other times, it feels good to have someone holding our hand along the way. It doesn't diminish your ability to overcome it. It doesn't make you less of a man or a woman or a child in that case if you need to do something alone or if you ask for help. What it means is, hey, you've actually taken the strength to say, hey, this is too much for me to do on my own. I can't overcome this alone. Please help me. That's where the strength comes in, to make that decision. And once you make it, realizing that the next step needs help if that's the case. So no, it really depends on the individual, their situation, and who they are, and how tough and how big that problem is. It doesn't hurt to ask for help. What hurts is sitting there knowing you have a problem or you seek my services. You can reach me at www.clintonharriscoaching.com.
So much, Clinton. I'm so excited that you're here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, listener. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.